So how about this stock today, everybody? Can you believe what happened with SoFi today and what happened yesterday as well? And where you at the bottom? Well, Catfish Tyler, that'd be moi. I believe so. I believe we have reached the bottom, and I'm here to show you why. I want to first of all welcome you all and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And there's plenty of other channels you could go check out, but I'm going to show you some different things about charts that you might not know of and you could learn from, hopefully, and prosper from with any stock that you're invested in. Now, I am not a financial advisor. I don't have a certificate. I do not have a degree in finance. I only have years and years of experience from starting trading in the year 2000. And when that began, I was lucky and got on a show on TV, you know of it, Wheel of Fortune. And I actually had a chance to win a bunch of money there, and it was great. So I used it and I started investing, and I've been doing it a long time. I've been through all the down 2008 and beyond, and now my experience takes me into an area where I think, from looking at all the things for so many years, I've learned enough to be helpful to people. So I'm telling you anything for 100% sure. I'm just making sure that you understand that my experience is just background I've had in training for years, and also just from paying close attention to things on the charts. That's what I specialize with, and so there we go. That's enough of my introduction for me. I'm going to click on me, get me down here to a smaller size. We're not taking up all this room, and then we'll get over here and we'll do actual footage from what I want to show you. The display capture up here, bam, and we're going to be, missed it by one. There we go. That's it. I think now we can get into this and show you some fun stuff that you might enjoy. So let's go up here and put this on the screen. And I'll try and pull this one over here. So we'll have two things going on. Look right here, folks. Institutional ownership has jumped up to 703 right there. I hope I have this still working correctly. Kind of interesting to see that uh, I have two main screens now. One of them is not my recorded screen, so I'm going to ditch that one off. Boom. There we go. Now we got this one. That's what I want to show you is SoFi and why I have so many good feelings about this stock. Okay. And I'm going to have a little cheers to everybody who bought in with me in the fours on this stock. That's when I started first touting that I thought it was a good time to buy. And that was shortly after David Chiaverini came out with his downgrade and said this stock was only worth $2.50, people. Well, you can see where it is now. Everybody that happened to catch my first showing on SoFi when I first debuted. And I at the time only had about 300 people subscribed to my channel. And now I've jumped almost to 1,000. And with your help, if you like what you're going to learn here from me today, then you subscribe. That'd be great. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll see when the reason I'm called Catfish is because I tend to buy stocks at the very bottom. I'm not aggressive when I see them hitting their highs. I stay away from those. I like getting the bottoms. And many people help me find the bottom that come into my channel every day when I do my live viewings. They come in at different times of the day because the price hits the bottom at different times of the day. So, but when it hits the bottom, you can kind of start looking for me on YouTube. All right, that's how you'll know I'm here. Okay, I want to thank you all for being here. And by the way, again, I want to keep looking at the long term with SoFi. This is the most important thing to start out with right here, is to look at this chart. And this is the one day. And I want you to look at just today. Look at this massive buy-in, folks, in the last minute right there. That's almost 1 million shares right there that someone bought. What does it say? In the last 2 minutes with 211,000 plus 777. Folks, you're talking almost 1 million shares right there. And I think you should follow the money. Is what I believe, and many others. And this is not a surprise to me to see this because I've seen this historically on the charts here before, and I'm going to show you. These are historical charts. And let's go back to the day I started telling everybody about this stock. Okay, here it is, May the 15th. And by the way, and interestingly enough, on May the 1st, if you were to look over here on this side of the thing over here, you'd see on May the 1st that they beat the street and they announced earnings and they beat the street. And on May 1st, just before May 1st, as we went up through April, the volume was pretty low in the 19 to 21,000, 17,000, 16,000. Volume was low. But as we got up here to May the 1st earnings call, suddenly After that came out and they beat the streak, look where the price was dropped to by all this massive surge of attack by, I say, shorters. I don't know why it would be selling off on such great news of beating earnings estimates for now the seventh time in a row when that happened. And there they got attacked down to that low price. And I started saying right here to start coming in on it. And right when I did, that's when I was telling all my buddies that we are on part of a group of that work together and share information. And we are all saying, hey, this might be the very good spot to get in because it was seemed obvious that it was ran down. And I was upset because here I had told my friends the thing had been trounced down. Look at all the volume, and now it was starting to rise. And it was just starting to rise, actually, and they were getting in. And then all of a sudden, the daggum news came out with David Cheevering's Downey, and that's when I came in on the. That's when I turned things around and said I'm going to start changing my channel from helpful life hacks and things like that, and my music. I decided to change it over to Sofi and start talking about this stock and sharing it, and that's when it was. It was below $5 that when I started in, and bam, you can see it's where it is and where it's gone to since there. And man, as this thing has swung up and down in massive amounts, folks, this stock has been swinging more than most stocks that I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely amazing and fascinating to see how much it's swung. And many of you have seen this before, but those of you that are new, I'm going to show you right here. If you had bought 544 shares, if you had bought it at $5.44, 100 shares is what I mean. If you bought at 544, 100 shares, and then if you had sold it at every high and shorted it at the highs down to each low, and then bought it at each low and went long back to each high, here's where you'd be. All right, this is going to take just 1 minute to tell you how crazy this is. So if you bought 100 shares for $544 on October 31st, it would have gone from there up 15% in just a few days to a price of $647, where you could have sold it and made 15.9%. And if you shorted it, then it went down from up there to down to 404, and that took 8 whole days. 494. That's a 23% drop, folks. Then the thing went from there from 494 in 6 days back up 19% to 613. Then a $1.89 drop, 30% drop, all the way from 613 to 424. Then a $4 gain, folks, to 824, folks. Look at this. This is insane, right? A 48% gain. And from 824, a 31% drop. I'm showing you, folks, some things here that you should be paying attention to. I hope that you're seeing it. Let me see if I'm getting this on here. I should probably have my picture right now even bigger. So let me do this. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to get me larger so you can see these things, right? What I'm trying to show you. This is crazy, folks. These things I'm trying to show you. And what these numbers are true. I've gone down the historical data from every high to every low. And had you done that and bought $544 worth, you now have, folks, after 10 months, you have accumulated amassed $21,885. Isn't that amazing? And folks, a lot of these swings, these massive swings, were in just short periods, 4 days, 5 days. I wrote how many days it was. Some of them were longer, like 7 weeks. But after the 7 weeks, that was when it went from the 424 to 824. So, folks, I'm telling you, these swinging on this stock, man, nothing else is like it. And I hope that you can see all that. Now, what I'm going to do is keep this very short today. But what I wanted to show, and the most concerning thing I have, is right here when I pull this display capture back up here. Boom, right there. Hopefully now I'm going to put this down here, and we're going to get to see, and again, make my image smaller and show you what's on my display here. All right, back down we go. And here we are back over to the main screen. Look at it going on up, folks. Oh, yeah, we keep ringing the bell. Oh, nice. Yes. Well, what can I say? Today, buying yesterday at 7:39. That was easy buying at 739, and it was easy to understand that it had hit the bottom. And congratulations to everybody who did get in. I think we're going to see a nice spike tomorrow in the open. I want to point out institutional ownership has now risen to 703 institutions that have taken up positions. And when I started, there was quite a few less. It's been rising and rising. And just 4 days ago, I was saying, I wonder who's going to be the first company to push us over 700. And now look where we are, 703. So institutions are buying in. And when they're buying in, that's no surprise. They've done it all along, folks. Let me show you something else here. The whole time that the price had gone from up here at $23, folks, look at the massive short selling to run this down into the 16s, and then they piled in massively even more, and they ran it on down to 12 and 13, and then they said, well, we'll take the ones that we had at 16, and then 13, we'll do it again, and we shorted even more, and they averaged down to around 15, and then they shorted from there at 13 down to 10, and they shorted, their average went down to $14, and then they shorted again at $8, and their average went to 11, and then they shorted again at 6, their average went to 9, they shorted again at 5, their average went to 8. It just kept going down, and now they got themselves in a little bit of a, oh no, because all these institutions have been accumulating the whole time, building and building more and more volume, folks. I'm telling you right now. That's my prediction. That's why I say we got a nice upturn. And folks, they have been using this system of running this thing up and down so much. It's so insane. So don't be caught off guard. And by the way, right now, if you look at this 1 month chart, where are we at on it? We just are in the trough. We're just starting to come off of it, folks, of a possible average gain. I've got it right here of 25.48% off the bottom is the chances that this could happen, because it's happened so many times on these massive swings that I'm showing you. Hopefully you're able to see them. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. It's very important to keep in track of institutions coming in. That means follow the money, I say. Follow the darn money, folks. When you got more and more institutions taking up positions, you should be aware of that, and you should keep an eye on it. So that's going to be pretty much it for the day. I'm encouraged also by this fact that when I look at this longer term chart right here, folks, and I think this is very critical, not the 1 day, but here, let's go long term. This is what I want to point out to you. I'm going to pull this back so you can see that I put this line here. This is my trend line, okay? My trend line. Hold on. Because if you're a wise investor, folks, you want to be thinking about the long term. You want to have a longer vision. It's like when you're driving down the road, folks, you don't just keep your eyes right here in front of the car 50 feet so it's clear, no animals and stuff. You're looking way down there, man, so you can see what some idiot might do or something. You're thinking ahead. But here's what we're doing. Within this right here, we're looking ahead here. This gives you the longer term vision, all right? I'm giving you the long vision, right? So this line here that's red when my cursor is over it like this with the 2 little dots on it, well, was right over here, that was the trend line. See? When they were bringing it down, they got it down to this point where the triple upside crossover occurred on the earnings call. And then after that, boom, the thing crossed over right on up. And look at that thing going. And look at the trend, how long it stayed on that plateau. It was gaining the whole time, but it was doing it slow over a slow period from around the 613 to what date? 720. So just about a month, it just stayed with this uppity downity, but always going up. And look at the trend line. Look at the 3. It makes perfect sense. But here's where you got to look. Right here. Right here's the last earnings call. Bam! They ran up to 1170. They shorted the snot out of this thing, and now they've took it back down. But I want you to be looking at this green line, which is the 200-day moving average, along the trend line, the red one. And look, even though they came at it for 1 here, right where the big one is, look how many days they came at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. Then 1 green, then 10, 11, 12. So you got 1 out of 12 days where it wasn't attacked down, folks. And then recently, here's half the amount of effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, down here, 5, 6, 7 days, 7 days in a row of an attack. But watch what happened then. Look at this green 200 day here, folks. It is not here. There's not a little tiny gap anymore. That's a big gap right there, my friends. That's forming right now. That's why I'm telling you. Look at that thing, man. Beautiful. All right. Pay attention to that. All right. That's important. This is the long term, folks. This is not a day chart you're looking at. It's a very long 3-month chart. And you can obviously see this move of the 200-day moving average coming off of that trend line that rode on that trend for a month almost, right? Okay. So that's why I'm showing you I'm encouraged by this bounce today. Oh, man, off of this, man, that bounce, that line. Folks, I'm not the only one looking at this, I can assure you. I'm not the only one that can see this. And so now I'm going to say farewell. So I'm going to put this screen back down here like this. Pull me back up where I can say farewell to you and thank you for your being here. I thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing with your friends about my channel. Come see me when I come up live. Make sure you hit the subscription and help me out to get to 1,000. I'm getting very close now because of all the Sofi folks. That's just people like you that hey, like what I'm showing in these charts. They can mean something, especially if you're a long-term investor. And there are other stocks that I point out. And I'll also, if you want to leave a comment about something you want me to look at, I'll look at any stock you want. Right? So you just say, hey, well, I appreciate the way you work and look at things. Can you look at this and that? And I want you to also, well, I've already shown all the people before. If you want, you can get more from me the next time. I'm going to keep it short this time, very short and sweet. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. That's going to be it from Catfish Tyler tonight. Hope you have a good evening. I hope you have much happiness in your life. I hope that your continued success in the stock market and that you also have a healthy life. That's the most important thing, and that you're surrounded with love. There you go. I'm done. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you. Bye bye.